This is the personnel office of Six Flags Over Texas, and inside they're taking applications for the some 1,600 jobs they have available this year when the park opens in the spring. Last year they had 1,600 jobs. They had 6,900 applicants. Today they tell me that they've had double the amount of applicants that they had on the first day last year, so the total should climb to near 10,000 applicants. This morning, 18 degrees above zero, and yet there were 800 applicants in line waiting to talk to people about jobs. Some of those applicants that we'd like to talk to now have been here this afternoon. What is your name, please?
Emily Delisle.
And Emily, you're looking for a job. What kind of a job?
I'd like to work in the concession stand on the rides.
Have you worked for Six Flags before?
No.
And how about you? What is your name?
Missy Alexander.
Mickey, what kind of a job are you looking for?
Anything as long as I'm around people.
Have you worked for Six Flags before?
No, sir.
It's a pretty good place to start, believe me. They tell me the two vice presidents with a parent corporation started as ride operators, and one of the lawyers for Six Flags started as a fry cook. So if you'll excuse me, I think I may step inside.
We anticipate a tremendous increase in our sales ability with the opening of the new Dallas-Fort Worth Regional Airport. It's going to give us an airport, and it won't be necessary to land in Dallas any longer to get to Fort Worth.
Has this presented a problem in the past in some convention bids?
Very definitely. On national conventions, it's psychological rather than physical, but you're actually landing in Dallas, you're not landing in Fort Worth, and we have evidence that we've lost bids because of this fact.
Now, one of the big problems is transportation. What about the transportation to and from the regional airport after it's built?
Well, speaking as no authority, but with a personal opinion, we will be just as bad off as we are today if our transportation to and from the new regional airport is not equal in time to transportation to and from Dallas.
Answers. For an example, that one I can quote, one of the commissioners said that the governor said that he didn't want the commission to adopt the NEA TSTA Code of Ethics.
Lieutenant Governor Ben Barnes' news conference tomorrow may be a surprise. He said several weeks ago that he would announce in January what political race he would run for in 1972. But there have been some strong indications that some of his backers and supporters have advised him very strongly not to announce this early for any political office. So that could be what he's going to say at tomorrow's news conference. Some of the other activities here at the Capitol building in these days just before the session begins next Tuesday included a caucus by so-called liberal members of the state Senate. This was conducted last night and again this morning. The sessions were closed, so we don't know just what went on in there, except that probably Senate rules were one of the things that were discussed. One member of that caucus is Senator Charles Wilson of Lufkin, and he is working very hard on his major proposal, which is for a regulatory commission for telephone companies and other utilities around the state. You've made this proposal many times in the past. You've now getting your legislation ready for introduction in the coming session. Do you expect that you will get a better hearing than in the past and more support?
Yes. In fact, I feel modestly confident that we'll pass the bill in the Senate. Now, I think presently the House of Representatives are probably inclined against the bill because that's where the lobby works the hardest. So I just think if the people will let their representatives know that they're going to support them, that they'll help them fight off the pressure and the money of Southwestern Bell, well, then I feel we'll have a much better chance over there. But mostly the people have got to make themselves heard, or else they're going to continue to get it socked to them.
Oh, no, no, no. We want to get everybody out. I don't think any councilman or school board member who's worth his salt would want to be elected by just one segment of the community. Certainly I wouldn't. The more voters we get turned out, the more meaningful the election. It's a sorry and empty victory indeed when just a pitiable small percentage of the community elects a group. They can't feel that they've got a mandate from the people. And the result is they probably are aware that they're open to more criticism because more people didn't vote for them who were qualified to vote than who did. The NEA has announced a position recently about the teaching profession that says that teachers should control the teaching profession. And I think that this TEA is attempting to control the teaching profession in Texas. The NEA and the TSTA presently has a teacher's code of ethics, and I've heard teachers say in some parts of the state that they've asked a question, really, why doesn't the TEA just adopt the NEA and the TSTA code of ethics?
Sometime between 6 o'clock last night and 7 o'clock this morning, we had a 40-foot trailer stolen along with the tractor and along with 4,961 garments.
Were these ladies' garments?
Yes, there were ladies' garments, gowns, sportswear, ready to wear, the whole works.
Was the truck full of these garments?
No, it was a little bit less than 1/3 full. We had unloaded a portion of the trailer and we're ready to deliver the rest of it today.
The Arlington police detective just told you that they found the trailer in Dallas County with some clothes in it. How does that make you feel at this point?
That makes me feel like I'm going to feel when we win at the Super Bowl. That's how I feel about it. I feel great, tremendous. I think the police department and everybody has done a great job in locating this thing, and I think it's fantastic that we caught him before he got rid of the merchandise.
The Dallas-Fort Worth Regional Airport Board has approved 3 contracts in excess of $1 million apiece. The first one was for $5,966,804.51, and it went to Mid-County Asphalt for construction of Phase 1 of the access highways leading into and out of the regional airport. The second major contract was for $2,087,375, and it went to Texas Industries of Dallas. It was for the procurement of precast concrete for Terminal Building 4E. And the third major contract, which was awarded at this afternoon's meeting, was for $1,408,645.35. It went to Cadenhead Construction Company of Fort Worth for construction of the Airport Administration Building. For a brief look at the future of the Dallas-Fort Worth Regional Airport construction activities and for a report on what has gone on until now, here is Ernest Dean, the Deputy Executive Director for Engineering.
The first contract, as you recall, that we awarded back in 1968 is about 96.5% complete, and that is the largest single contract, being $21.5 million. The other significant progress that is being made is in the area of the terminal complex, where we have now completed the foundations for Braniff's, Texas International, and Ozark terminal buildings, and are active in Delta's area.
I guess we'll have to give some credit to Dale Milford because weather has not really been a factor so far in construction activities out at the regional airport. Everything looks rosy for 1971. Art Sinclair, Channel 8 News on the Move at the Dallas-Fort Worth Regional Airport building.
I feel that the Nixon administration is using its own ideas about how to fight the war on poverty. Certainly in my mind, there's some question as to their sincerity. There's some question as to the efficacy of the programs which they are now introducing. In the case of our Fort Worth program, we've had two separate poverty programs for a while. This was diluted down by causing us to have a delegate agency under the major poverty program, and now it is proposed to further dilute the NAI into one neighborhood. Now, certainly it has been the consensus of many people in Fort Worth that the NAI has waged under the former setup a very effective program, and we can't help but to interpret the fact that this succeeding dilution of the program is somehow related to the sincerity of the people who are involved.